you are hearing and you are reading. And so to quote the words of a famous New Yorker, allow me to reintroduce myself. I was born in Kampala, Uganda, in East Africa. I was given my middle name Kwame by my father, who named me after the first Prime Minister of Ghana. And decades ago, in Uganda, we won our independence from the British in 1962. We can clap for that. And when we did, the United States government gave the Ugandan government 23 scholarships as a gift for independence. And my father won one of those scholarships. He came to this country to study to be an engineer at the University of Pittsburgh. And sometime into his studies, his face buried in his book, he heard the words reverberate in the corridor around him, "Which side are you on? Which side are you on?" These were words being sung by members of SNCC, the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee, recruiting students to get on the bus to go to Montgomery, Alabama. And my father got on that bus. He marched, he was hosed down, he was thrown in jail, he was given one phone call. And he called the Ugandan ambassador to the United States. He said, "Can you get me out of jail?" The ambassador said, "What are you doing in jail? We sent you there to study." My father said, "You sent me here as a gift for our freedom. They are fighting for theirs. It's one and the same." And so I was raised with this understanding that freedom and the fight for it is interconnected. And as I look across this city today,
God damn, that's so powerful, dude. It's so fucking good. I get chills every time I hear it.
I am reminded that freedom is only worth as much as our ability to exercise it. Because we hear politicians of the past come on stages across this city, including this one, saying that they believe this is the greatest city in the world. But they do not answer the question that Dr. King posed decades ago. What good is having the right to sit at a lunch counter if you can't afford to buy a hamburger? What good is being the greatest city in the world if New Yorkers can't afford to live here? What good is it if our own people cannot afford their rent, their childcare, their groceries, even $2.90 for their Metro card? What good is that but making a museum of what once was in the city that we love? And so I stand here before you as an assembly member running for mayor with a very simple message. I am running to make the most expensive city in the United States of America affordable. I'm running to make it affordable for the working and middle class New Yorkers who built this city. And I also know that to run, to believe, it is not enough in and of itself. Because we know the words of James 2:14. Faith without works is death. If we believe in something, we must deliver something.
Go ahead, chatters. Are there any other chatters who want to tell me that this is not a fucking blowout speech? Are there any other chatters who want to be like, no, you don't understand. Black people will hear this and they won't have the capacity to make up their own minds and they'll go and vote for fucking Eric Adams.
That is how we will be judged. And when I believe in affordability, I will deliver it by freezing the rent for more than 2 million rent-stabilized tenants across the city of New York. When I believe in affordability, I will deliver it by making the slowest buses in the country fast and free. When I believe in affordability, I will deliver it by finally bringing universal childcare to each and every New Yorker across this city. But I know that there are many who say that when you stand for what you believe in, you lose your ability to win. And I actually think of the words that Reverend Sharpton shared when he was running for president.
Oh, this part is good.
He shared, there are those in the Democratic Party who have driven the party further and further to the right in the name of a winning strategy. And it seems that it is their presumption that the only way to be electable is that progressive forces and people of color must voluntarily turn into invisible people. And I have spent this campaign...
Dude, I love this part because this is a direct shot at Al Sharpton and what Al Sharpton has become. If you think he likes what he's doing, if you think he likes being quoted this way, make no mistake, he is in awe. He is in shock. I don't think he appreciates that Al Sharpton is being used in this way. Okay?
Speaking to those so-called invisible people. I have spoken to the New Yorkers who do not see themselves in their politics, do not see themselves in their politicians, and do not see themselves in the policies that are being proposed. And what I have found is that it is time to bring those from the margins to the mainstream. It is time for us to make every New Yorker visible across this city. But when we stand up and do so, we will face the wrath of all the money in the world. And so right now you will see more than $20 million being spent against me, $20 million being trying to redefine me. But let me tell you who I am. I am a man who believes in the possibility of this city. I am one who believes that we must win a new city, a city for each and every New Yorker, one they can afford, one they can do more than just struggle. And to do that, we have to leave behind the old city and the old politicians and the old ways that gave us the struggle that we're living in today. So it is my hope to not only earn your consideration, to not only earn your vote, but to earn your partnership. Because what I want to do is lead this city alongside each and every one of you. And it would be a dream if you gave me that opportunity on Tuesday, June 24th. Thank you so much.
I think he's a checkmate.
Zoran Mondani. Now, you know, I told all the candidates they had 5 minutes, but I didn't tell them the other prerequisite. You see, Zoran don't play fair. To quote Sharpton in front of Sharpton. Play fair now, Zoran.
I'm telling you, he didn't like that.
That was a chess move there.
Yep. Because that's old Al Sharpton. Zoran was quoting old Al Sharpton. For those of you who don't know, Al Sharpton used to be a black nationalist, okay? Maybe even a black separatist back in the day. And back then, his rhetoric was far closer. He was a lot fatter as well, of course. Back then, his rhetoric in times was far closer to what you would hear from Zoran Mamdani today. I would say he was a black separatist straight up. I'm fucking being, tensions are high because I've found myself once again describing black people's business. So I'm just trying to be as nice as possible when talking about it. Okay? But yes, he definitely. Now he is a skinny man who has a permanent slot on MSNBC. Okay? So do with that information what you will. Many such examples, many such cases, and a million different ways of describing why that's actually supposed to happen. Because there's simply no other way. This is survival. Black capitalism is a mechanism of survival. Yada, 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 yada. I don't give a shit. Okay? I don't fucking care. If you think that type of commentary is gonna, play here, not gonna work. I'd rather have someone be honest with their radical politics and have my disagreements with them than have someone basically promote whatever helps their bottom line. Multiple proclamations about, it's white boy summer already. Multiple proclamations about white people summer and quoted white guys are so back before yelling at a black chatter. Hank Pecker's in the building. Hell yeah.
Just as well. There are a lot of people who voted for me that said you're too conservative. We're uncomfortable with some of your positions, but we see you, we know you, and we know when you get elected to Congress, you're going to come back and you're going to be here and you're going to fight for us, for what we need. Talk about how showing up makes a difference. You can't be a preacher in a church and show up 1 out of every 4 Sundays.
No, that's for sure. I think showing up it says to people that you really are engaged with them and you really want them to know you and they can feel you. And when you don't show up and have this rose garden strategy when you're not one that has the rose garden, it's just gives a kind of removed feeling from people. And I think that this is what we're going to see coming down the pipe here with this election in New York. We've got Democrats around the country are going to be worried as they try to overtake the House and make Hakeem Jeffries the speaker. Is this guy being labeled a socialist and all going to hurt us in other areas? So there's a lot of reason why he should continue to show up, because he's going to have to beat down a lot of things. And there's a lot of reasons why Eric Adams, who shows up at everything, may be a different kind of opponent for him than Andrew Cuomo.
Yeah, in New York, the Adams dynamic versus Madani is going to be interesting. And then nationally, we'll have to see what lessons we do. You're right. Republicans are already gleefully saying, this is the new face of your...
Former New York Governor Andrew Cuomo.
Oh, we already watched the funniest part about this. They're losing their minds over at CNBC. But before we get to that, I will say one thing. There's a person who I want to fucking squash the beef with. Her name is Joy Ann Reid. Okay? Speaking of black people's business, or speaking of cynical weaponizations of identity politics from the utilization of standpoint theory as a black woman, using that at every fucking opportunity to dagger the campaign of a radical candidate like Bernie Sanders. Joy Ann Reid, the beef is squashed. I mean, it's been squashed because she's been an incredible voice, surprisingly enough. Long gone are the days where Joy Ann Reid would bring forth a body language expert to try and find ways of attacking Bernard fucking Sanders. Because remember what that one chatter I was yelling at about, like, well, black people ain't rocking with this person. We're not rocking with them if they're not rocking with us. You only talk about black people when it comes to voting or whatever the fuck, right? Like all that shit, all of that cynical ass, bullshit ass, brain broken, wrecker behavior ass nonsense was demonstrated by Joy Ann Reid time and time again. Whenever Bernie Sanders was seemingly doing well, MSNBC would bring her out like a mercenary to be like, Bernie Sanders is a Klansman. Bernie Sanders literally is at the Klans rally. Bernie Sanders is killing black children if possible. She doesn't do that anymore. She absolutely, seemingly in the last couple of years, especially after the genocide in Gaza, has started defending Palestinian emancipation, and I think her perspective and the way she sees the world has even changed. Okay? You at least concede Bernie Bros. Discord bot, stop. Stop pissing me off. Now, I'm going to show you something that apparently was cut from the final release of this video on CNN's YouTube page, but it was seen on television last night. An accurate reflection of historical events as it pertains to a foreign adversary nation and why said foreign adversary nation has such enmity towards the United States of America. This is unheard of on mainstream news. Let's take a look.
It's an important role in the world. I am thrilled that the United States is trying to police the proliferation of nuclear weapons. Imagine what the world would look like if it was otherwise. And I think
the reason why, by the way, I hyped up like my former quote-unquote fake beef with Joy Ann Reid is because I want you to experience the fucking whiplash now with what she does here, okay?
I will say that the United States would still be the only country that has ever bombed another country with nuclear weapons. And let me ask you one question. Why did
One says the United States is the only country that's bombed another country with nuclear weapons. Correct.
the Iran hostage crisis take place?
Setting up for an incredible opportunity here says, why do you think the Iranian hostage crisis took place?
So certainly,
I'm asking you why.
Fundamentalist radicals took over the government. Who
Why?
hate the West?
Why
Because
did they take
hate
over the
West.
government? Why?
Because they're religious jihadis who want to eliminate Western society.
This guy looks too much like a pedophile. I'm sorry. He can't be on the fucking... You got to get this guy off the fucking ticket. You got to get him off the table. It freaks me out every time I see this motherfucker. I swear to God. He's just giving... He has such fucked vibes, bro. I'm sorry. I said this last night. He's also insanely racist. He's taken over the mantle from Scott Jennings, who I guess came back from his dick-sucking festival at Tel Aviv when he was stuck in a bomb shelter on his knees. The psychopathic, rabid evangelical Zionist Scott Jennings. That's who he's filling in for. Hold on.
They hate our way of life. They hate our way of life.
Or they overthrew the Shah of Iran, who we imposed on Iran because the Dulles brothers, one at the CIA and one at the State Department, decided that the oil beneath the soil of Iran belonged to BP and belonged to us. And when Mossadegh, who was the leader of Iran, the democratically elected leader of Iran, said that we would like to audit BP because we want to know if you are cheating us or paying the people of Iran based on the oil under their soil. And they said, you may not audit us. And then we overthrew him and he wound up dying in prison because we decided that we, in our arrogance as a country, got to own their oil. And wait a minute, no, one moment. And so the hatred of the United States had to do with the hatred of the Shah, who brutally repressed the people of Iran for 26 years until he was overthrown within Iran because he was not their natural king. They didn't want a king any more than we wanted a king. The bottom line is the arrogance of the United States' foreign policy. We act as if people act in a vacuum and that nothing we do.
I love her. I have so much respect for her now. And there's another thing that I'm going to show you in a second. Many of you probably know. Because she used to be on MSNBC. Like I said, was a MSNBC contributor, like a mercenary that they would bring out to fucking talk about how Bernie Sanders was radical, scary, misogynistic, anti-black. I think Gaza truly changed her worldview. Maybe she always knew this stuff, and maybe she chose not to talk about it. I never heard. Okay? I never heard her perspective. At least like offering historic clarity. Okay? But she had her own fucking show at MSNBC. She does not anymore. And we'll talk about it in a second. But what she just described here in a matter of 2 minutes is accurate history that specifically details why there is so much enmity towards the United States of America in places like Iran. It showcases imperial arrogance, and it just is an accurate assessment of historical events, an accurate retelling of historical events. When is the last time you've heard something like this on